Next is Danny. How does the website builder affect SEO? Does it matter much or no? Yeah, it does, but because if the website, bloated code and everything else can slow down page load times and all that. But I used to think that high level sites and they've gotten better for sure. And that's probably why I prefer high level over WordPress now any day of the week for websites. Not a joke. Because high level doesn't require hosting. It also doesn't require updates, WordPress updates, which how many of you guys are tired of WordPress updates? I mean, probably an easy to get less response. How many of you are not tired of it? Get zero response from that, right? It's just awful. I hate WordPress anymore. I really do. It's just ridiculous, and it gets hacked all the time. I'm just tired of it. So, I prefer high level, and high level has a lot of bloated code, but high level's gotten a lot better about. They've actually gotten better recently. Their page load times have improved. I don't know what they did, but their like their DNS mapping for mapping to theirs has like in just the last few weeks has been updated. And so now their pages definitely load faster and everything else. So I think high level site builders are actually really good. And by the way, that's infinitely scalable, guys. Do you realize all you need is a $97 a month high level starter account and you can build unlimited websites with it with no hosting? I mean, I guess you're paying 97, but not in addition to hosting websites, you get all the other functionality of the high level account for $97. And you can add as many websites as you want, host as many websites as you want. No updates, no hosting, no configuring all that shit. Just build the damn sites. And once you get the site structure right in whatever your chosen industry is, because you all should be in one industry, pick one. Now you can duplicate that over and over and over again. And guys, you just simplify your business so much, right? So spend your time figuring out what works best in an industry and then build the site, trial and error it until you figure out what the best configuration is, and then duplicate the shit out of that over and over and over again. There's your foundation. That's how you build your business on something that's scalable, where you don't have to work yourself to death for every new project. How many of you do that? Right? I'm guilty of doing that previously too. Okay. Not above any of this. I've just learned through a lot of experience. And so I just want to be clear. So back to the site building stuff that it does make a difference, but I feel like most of them are getting better. I mean, certainly there's so many of them out there. I can't speak on all of them, but as long as you can optimize, in my opinion, the elements of the page now, which is very, very important because again, page structure trumps content any day of the week, in my opinion, from my testing and local SEO. And by the way, the caveat I should always disclaim at the beginning is I'm talking about local SEO. It's probably different for national and e-com and blogs and all that shit. I don't work in those industries. I work in local SEO. And for local SEO, page structure trumps content any day of the week. So as long as you get the structural elements of the page proper, and then that's step one. Step two is you build the overall site structure properly. And then step three is internal linking between the pages to associate or assert relationships or associations between products and services and locations. Then it doesn't really matter. Right now, again, my preferred site builder is high level because of all the reasons I just mentioned. Infinitely scalable, no updates. It took me a long time to get the template. It took me literally 2 weeks. I'm not joking. It was very tedious, but the site template that I use in high level, it had to go every single element of all the pages and manually edit every one of them to get the page structure right. And it took literally 70 hours. That is not a joke. I know. How could you spend 70 hours? I did. It was very tedious and I hated it, but it was worth it because now I just duplicate those sites over and over and over again and they perform very, very well. Some need more off page than others, guys. That's not a question. There's no question about that. But they all respond a lot better now. So they need less two links and off page. So they need less links. It's reduced reduced my fulfillment costs essentially in order to be able to achieve results for my clients, which means my margins increased again, which is good because they had decreased for a while based on ineffective links. So not my links, by the way. By the way, just real quick, I've been doing some testing with some Mike Martin has a really, really, really cool concept called brand jacking, which I can't believe I hadn't thought about this, but kudos to Mike Martin. Mike's a good dude. And I always liked Mike, and he's done some training recently. I'm sure some of you have probably seen his webinar or seen his, and so shout out to Mike for this. No affiliate link here or nothing, guys, but Mike Martin's brand jacker stuff. I started testing with that. And so I built a site a few weeks ago for this one, which is brandjacking, you know, brand names, tree service contractors in Louisville. And I built this site with no links at all. It was already had some, page one, actually top rankings. But then I built 2 links on the 14th of April. I built 2 geographic links. So links with geographic relevance for Louisville. And you can see that was on the 14th of April. And I haven't done anything else. And in fact, if we go take a look at the backlink profile, because I was looking at it right before we got on the call today, or the Hump Day Hangout, Derby City Tree, it has a total of backlinks from 5 referring domains, but 3 of those are those scraper sites that are just those domain list sites. So that those backlinks have absolutely no value. So the only 2 backlinks that were built were 2 backlinks from what I call geographic blogs. So these are blogs that have geographic relevance because they have backlink profiles pointing to them from other local sources. And so we build geographic blogs because that helps to promote rankings for local search, both in organic and maps. It's more of a maps play, but I'm doing some testing with geographic links for pushing or promoting organic ranking because they're still geographically relevant. And so you guys can see that we've only got 2 links there. They were both placed on April 14th. Okay. And I submitted them to Majestic on that date so that Majestic would pick up on them. You can see that they're not topically relevant. They're not strong links. They have very low trust flow values, means they're not strong, but they did produce a result. Right? We can see that. The 14th of April, I placed those links. We just let it sit. Google get, find them, and it started to push things up. So now we've got multiple page 1 rankings, guys. I mean, it's kind of interesting, but like let's just look at this guy. If we actually copy that and go look at this. We're outranking the company's pops a knowledge panel, but we're outranking their money site with my directory, my brand jacking directory. Again, Mike Martin's training, guys. But what this is underneath this page, which I have a tree contractor that I sell links or sell leads to in Louisville. Which is why I have a lot of test sites out here for that, because I was doing a lot of testing. Because whenever I'm going to build lead gen sites for testing purposes, I certainly want to do it in an area where I've got a lead buyer, so I can monetize those leads when they start, if the site starts to perform well. And so here's an example. This is Newburgh is a suburb of Louisville, and I've got multiple examples of those test sites. There's Grim Reaper Tree Services. That's a WordPress site. Here's Felling Pro, which was a high-level site, but this is one that the elements were not optimized properly, so that the technical SEO, like the page structure of these sites, this site here is horrid because it's got multiple H1s, non-relevant H tags all over because the H tags were used as styling. Do not model this for structure. This is a great example of poor page structure, although it's still performing well. But anyways, and then underneath the maps pack, there's Google site, which is part of what I call the content mirroring method. Then there's another page from Felling Pro, and then there is the ID page, and then there's a YouTube video, which is part of the content mirroring method. Then there's another page from Grim Reaper Tree Services, which is the WordPress site. So anyways, all of that is to say, underneath this page here is actually just a directory listing page that talks about Excel tree service. It has a paragraph of 2 paragraphs of description, business description, name, address, phone number, etc. And then this is an overlay. And so again, coming back here, I just think this is a really interesting concept, and I just started playing with it, and I wanted to give these sites a couple of weeks to see how they perform. I have some ideas on how to make these sites better and to perform better, like get rid of having the street address and the SEO title, etc. So in the mastermind, I'm taking Mike's training and expanding upon that. And by the way, again, shout out to Mike Martin. I'm not trying to steal his training or nothing else. I'm giving him credit. I think it's a brilliant concept. And so anyways, you can see that, guys, this performs. And here's why. Somebody asked me in our mastermind, like, well, how can you outrank their money site with a brand new domain with no backlinks? And it's because, guys, most SEOs, like I do a ton of audits and consulting with a lot of local agencies now. I'm doing a lot of consulting recently, and it's crazy how many people do not optimize, or local businesses do not optimize their homepage for their brand. They optimize for keywords. I'm not kidding. I see a lot of homepage URLs for audits that I do that don't even mention the brand name in the SEO title. What the hell are people thinking, right? And so obviously, if you're not optimizing the homepage for the brand, then it's going to be easy for somebody to come along and outrank for a brand search. because all you got to do is stuff the page with the brand name and in the primary leverage points, right? That's what I talk about page structure. You don't need content. You just need to have the brand name repeated in multiple places, SEO title, H1, H2. You do that. Now you've got a page that has optimized with high density for the brand name. Well, keyword density, guys, still matters for for ranking pages, right? That is something that you can do and not only that, it's not so much the keyword density. Maybe it is. I haven't done a lot of specific testing on that, but the page structure. And if your page on your directory site is optimized for the brand name in those high leverage points, so the biggest optimization points of the page itself, what I call structure, then and the money site for the brand itself, for the company, does not, and it's not optimized well at all for their brand, then it makes sense why we can outrank them. So, guys, again, that's why I keep going back to what I talk about with optimizing the homepage for the brand. That should be first and foremost. Full stop. That way you prevent this kind of stuff from other assholes like me going out there and jacking your client's traffic. Now, again, this was done with no backlinks too. I placed 2 links 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to see how it responded. I'll probably give it another few days, and then next week sometime I'll come back in and I'll probably place another couple of links, probably topical links next time. See how much of a jump I can get out of that. And again, by the way, the limitation that I see, and this is not a slide against Mike or anything else, the Google scraper that it's Keith Best's scraper, I think. It's formatted to where the exported file perfectly it's all formatted, the CSV file with the contacts. There's a limitation to that. It only pulls out those with published street addresses. So that in the service area business, like tree service contractors, that eliminates a lot of potential brands that I would pull into this directory site because it doesn't include those without published street addresses. So I think that's a little bit of a limitation. I can get richer data, more contacts, more companies through an outscraper scrape. But then I'd have to go in and edit the magic page and all the short codes to be appropriate for the output file, or the CSV file outputted from outscraper would have to be, the column headers would have to be edited to match up the short codes in the magic page template. And that's fine. I just haven't had the time to do it. I wanted to see how these perform the way that they did. But I can get more tree contractors in if I use a different data scraper. And again, it's not a slide against Mike or Keith or anything like that. I'm just saying I've already taken his concept and started to put my own flavor on it. But I will always give my credit for the idea. And I want to be clear about that, guys. I don't steal other people's ideas. If I'm going to mention it, I'm going to certainly give them credit. But what I'm thinking is this could be improved upon. Some testing I want to do is like the SEO titles currently have the address in that, and that's not normal. And what I found is that you can usually get really good results with new document titles, SEO titles for new pages that are unique, that you can usually get really good results for that, but then fairly quickly they'll drop significantly because it's optimized for a term that doesn't get really any kind of search interest or whatever. So what I'm saying is I think it would be better just to target the company name, city, state, instead of the full address, especially for service area businesses that don't typically publish their address, if that makes sense. So I got some more testing to do with this type of a concept, but I think it's a great strategy, just to be clear. And I just wanted to point that out because I was thinking about that earlier. I was looking at it today, and I thought that this was cool to see that kind of movement. Guys, by the way, it's normal to see when you place links where you just see an initial jump, then a dip, and then it goes back and it kind of rises up beyond that initial jump. And that's what I see a lot with link building. So this was, again, just 2 geographic links placed on the 14th. And you can see it has started to produce a result now. It looks like it's trending up anyways. We'll find out. Give it another week or two. But I think it's a brilliant strategy. Anyway, moving on. So just to kind of wrap this one up, put a bow on it. Does the website builder affect SEO? Yeah, but I think they're all getting so much better that it's, as long as you can optimize the structural elements of the page, I think you're fine. Seriously, I do. Go if you're reviewing a potential site builder, if you can get an example or demo site and then run it through like PageSpeed Insights and see what are the speed ratings, all that. As long as it's decent, I'd say just run with it, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. Anything's better than WordPress, in my opinion, just because of all the hassles with WordPress, to be clear.